the signal that should not have been heard. The galaxy had long whispered legends about Earth, a distant, isolated world whose people were unpredictable, brilliant, and utterly unafraid of impossible odds. But most believed those stories were exaggerations. That belief shattered the moment the cry for help reached them. It came from a tiny mining colony on the outer edge of the Andromedan trade line, a place most empires considered disposable. The colony wasn't home to humans. It was home to the island, a gentle, insectoid species known for peaceful trade, soft voices, and almost childlike trust in others. On that cold rotation cycle, a single island girl named Saralyn hid under shattered mining crates, clutching a small transmitter. Her mandibles trembled as she whispered into it. Please, this is Outpost 9. They've taken everyone. Anyone, help us. The signal wasn't meant to go far. It wasn't even aimed at Earth. But space is strange. Relays misfire. Old human satellites drift. And somehow, impossibly, her message reached a forgotten emergency frequency on Earth, one designed centuries ago for deep space disasters. Most species would have ignored such a message. Earth did not. Within minutes, old automated systems routed it to Human Space Command. Within 20 more, the response left Earth, angry, immediate, and burning hotter than a newborn star. Humanity did not know the island. Humanity did not owe them anything. But someone had called for help. And that was enough. The raiders who made a mistake. Saralyn's colony had been raided by the Draxis Marauders, a reptilian mercenary empire notorious for enslaving small species. They expected no resistance. They expected their attack to be ignored, overlooked, considered too insignificant for any government to bother with. They were right, at first. No empire cared. No alliance sent aid. But the Draxis had made a mistake that would haunt their descendants. They attacked innocents within reach of humanity's empathy. And nothing in the universe was more dangerous than that. Saralyn remained hidden for 2 entire cycles, surviving on leaking coolant water and sheer terror. She watched as her friends were dragged away. She listened as ships arrived and departed. She had begun to lose hope. Until the sky cracked open. The arrival of Roth. The first human ship to arrive wasn't a battleship. It wasn't a fleet. It was a single vessel, a black, angular destroyer known as the Harrowing Star, commanded by Captain Adrian Rourke, a man whose reputation alone made warlords nervous. The Draxis laughed when the lone ship appeared. A single human vessel, their warlords sneered. They dare insult us. But the laughter died the moment the Harrowing Star spoke. Not with words. With action. A beam of pure golden plasma lanced through the sky, cutting a Draxis cruiser cleanly in half. The burning wreckage rained across the dunes like molten rain. The second shot disabled the comms tower. The third took out the raider barracks. Then the destroyer descended, silent, controlled, and furious. The Draxis learned a truth that had been written into the galaxy's ancient bones. Humans don't arrive to negotiate. Humans arrive to finish the problem. The girl who met a human. Saralyn held her breath as boots thudded across the wreckage near her hiding spot. She expected claws. She expected her captors. Instead, she heard a soft, warm voice. Hey, you can come out. You're safe. A gloved hand gently lifted the crate. A human knelt there, tall, armored, visor retracted to reveal tired, kind eyes. His name tag read, Lieutenant Mara Ellison. Saralyn squeaked in fear. The human smiled slightly. You sent a signal, didn't you? I didn't mean to bring trouble. You didn't, Mara said gently. You brought us. She lifted the trembling girl into her arms with impossible gentleness, as though she were made of glass. Serlin felt warmth for the first time in days. Where is everyone else?" she whispered. Mara's expression hardened. "We'll get them," she said. "We always get our people back." "But we're not your people." The human officer met her eyes. "You are now." The middle, when Earth got angry. Captain Rourke didn't come alone. Because the moment Earth confirmed the colony had been attacked, they sent the 5th Intervention Fleet. A fleet feared throughout human space. A fleet that only launched during humanitarian emergencies or extinction threats. And to the Drax's horror, it arrived at Outpost 9 in full force. 12 heavy destroyers, 3 carrier groups, 48 patrol frigates, 1 dreadnought that eclipsed the moon itself. The Drax's armada, over 100 ships strong, scrambled to defend their plundered colony. They had numbers. Humanity had fury. The difference was devastating. Human strikes were surgical, precise, no civilian structures targeted, no hostages endangered. Drax's ships, on the other hand, exploded like firecrackers in a hurricane. Admiral Kaylee Jong, commanding the human fleet, sent one message to the Drax's high command. "You hurt a child who asked us for help. You will not touch another." The Drax's response was predictable arrogance. "You humans cannot protect them all." Humanity's answer came in the form of a dreadnought barrage so powerful it lit the night side of the planet like sunrise. The rescue. Human ground forces moved swiftly. The Draxis were brutal, but not organized. They never expected retaliation, certainly not from a species renowned for terrifying adaptability. Within 2 hours, human special forces breached every holding cell. Within 3, every enslaved island was accounted for, alive and safe. Serlin, now wrapped in a protective thermal blanket, watched as human medics tended to the wounded. "You came for us," she whispered. A nearby medic smiled. "You called." But why would humans answer? No one else did. Mara knelt beside her again. Because no one else did. The last stand of the Draxis. Realizing their defeat, the Draxis attempted a desperate counterattack, hundreds of ships dropping out of warp around the outpost. The island screamed in terror. The humans simply looked annoyed. Admiral Jong stood on the bridge of the dreadnought Vigilance, hands clasped behind her back.
"Ready the Nova array," her officer said, "that will wipe their entire fleet." Jong's voice was cold steel. They took children. The array charged, white light building at the ship's core. Across the system, the Draxis fell into a panic. "Human vessel, you will doom us all if you fire. Cease your attack." But humanity did not negotiate with slavers. The Nova array fired. A wave of light expanded silently through space, disabling every Draxis ship without harming their crews. Engines died. Shields collapsed. Weapons shut down. The Draxis realized they had not been destroyed. They had been rendered helpless. A warning. A promise. A message. Earth could have annihilated them. But humanity chose restraint. Because the island were watching. Because Earth wanted them to understand. We fight monsters. We don't become them. The end, the galaxy learns fear. And hope. For the first time in galactic history, the Draxis marauders surrendered. Not to an empire. Not to an alliance. But to a little girl's signal. And the humans who answered it. Serlin stood beside Captain Rourke as the Draxis were escorted away. She trembled. They won't come back, Will they? Rourke placed a hand on her small shoulder. No, he said softly. Because they've learned what happens when you hurt someone under our protection. What happens? He smiled faintly. Humanity happens. The galaxy took notice. For the first time in centuries, empires whispered a new truth in their war rooms. If a child calls Earth for help, God help whoever harmed them. The island rebuilt their colony with human assistance. Sailin visited Earth 2 years later, honored as the girl whose bravery awakened humanity's fiercest instincts. When asked what she remembered most about that terrible day, she always said the same thing. I thought I was speaking into the void. But the void answered. And it was human. And across the stars, a new legend began. The universe may be vast. Its dangers endless. But if you cry out for help, Earth will hear you. And heaven help whatever hurt you.